The views and opinions expressed on Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria, presented in partnership with Caregiver Volunteers and Harrigate, are for entertainment and informational purposes only. These views do not necessarily reflect the opinions or policies of Caregiver Volunteers, Harrigate, this station, or their affiliates. The content provided should not be considered medical, legal, or financial advice. For personalized guidance, please consult with a licensed professional. Listener discretion is advised.
Time for the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, we are here. It is episode 2 of the Senior Scoop. How's everybody doing? Are you guys ready to have some fun and learn some stuff about aging? What do you think? You know, I mean, geez, it's actually, we got a very special month. It is May, which is Older Americans Month. And, we have a little bit of a difference today. I have a very special guest star. Sharon Budde's over here, and she is filling in for Maria Penna. Give her a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So now, Sharon, tell us a little bit about what you do here. I know that you're here at Harrigate, and you're the Director of Community Life Services. Is that correct?
Correct.
So tell me a little bit, what does that mean? What do you do?
Well, yes, for over 26 years, I've been with Harrigate. And currently, my role is the Director of Community Life Services. The fun starts with me.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
That's good.
So therefore, yes, we do observe the 8 dimensions of wellness. And in my role of programming for the seniors here at Harrigate is utilizing and making sure those 8 dimensions of wellness are included in my daily calendar. Part of the 8 dimensions, the social aspect of the 8 dimensions would be me, and it entails all the wine and cheese parties we have here, anything social.
That's
so
nice.
Therefore, hence, the party starts with me. So that's,
I like to mention one very much.
That's
I
what
like
we
this.
do, first and foremost, social. Then we have spiritual, which is a lot more calmer, and it's where we have streaming mass in here. We do a lot of meditation. The community services come in to do communion service. The Shabbat services are here. That's all through spirituality. The physical balance is our classes held with our fitness manager, and we try and keep everybody on point with their classes. We have a multitude of classes that fit posture, balance, stretching, all that, and we try to keep that in our daily life. Intellectual is covered with our chess players. We have our master chess player here today, and we do that the 3rd Wednesday of every month. We also have health services. Speakers come in, and they have a PT group that comes in and talks about physical therapy. And then we go into the emotional end of things. We have meditation, like I had said before. Meditation class is very important. It's done weekly, and it helps you regroup and bring yourself back down. Vocational is the 7th one. Vocational, we have ladies, residents that run a jewelry sale here, and all the funds and monies they collect go towards the scholarship fund. Then we have an environmental. The environmental is our Buildings and Grounds Committee that does the cleanup on Earth Day. We try and recycle our batteries, stuff like that.
Wow.
So those are our 8 dimensions.
Yeah, you guys are, I love the philosophy here, and I think that's, you have to have those goals to go around, and I mean, geez, meditation, I need a lot of that.
Absolutely.
But no, that's awesome. And now let me ask you though, what did you do to get yourself in trouble enough to be my co-star today? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, Maria approached me, and she said she had somebody already in mind, but then she said, oh, you know what? How about you? And I just was like cornered. So I said, of course I would help her out.
I really appreciate you coming out, and because there was no prep. Basically, we throw a microphone in front of you and say, hey, let's go do this thing. I think we should get right into it, and I want to tell you a little bit about what we've got going on today, because this is going to be one heck of a show. And for our Older Americans Month, let's see. We've got Maria LaFace, the director of Ocean County Office of Senior Services, is here, and she's going to talk about what's going on behind the scenes. Especially, I want to talk to her a little bit about what's going on with our Fed and state decisions impacting our Meals on Wheels program, transportation, the caregiver support. We're going to have Gianna's coming here from Harrigate, and actually, it's funny because Gianna was also a dancer on Dancing with Their Stars. I remember.
Was, yes.
So that's another one coming back. And then, you know what, we got Rich is here, and he's here from Assisting Hands, and we've got our Partners with Prizes happening as well.
Ooh.
So we got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to take a minute. We're going to get set back up, and I think we're going to get Gianna in here to get ourselves started. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Senior Scoop, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria. Thanks for joining us, and we will be right back.
Time for the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, we are back, everybody, and we've got a very special guest that's going to be joining us here. Gianna, this is Gianna Dillette, is that correct?
Yes.
And
Yep.
you are right here at Harrigate. Tell us a little bit about what you do here, and then I got a story that I could tell them about you.
So I am the activity director in our health center, which is long-term care and rehab. So we're a 68-bed facility attached to Harrigate Independent Living, but very different from independent living. And I plan our calendar and activities for all of our people over there.
So what kind of activities do you do?
Well, I plan according to the 8 dimensions of wellness that Sharon was just speaking of as well. So I try to make our calendar encompass spiritual, social, vocational, physical, and all of those things as well. I have 8 staff right now, a lot of part-timers, but we have different staff running different activities all day. We also have some people who don't come out of the rooms too much. They may not be feeling well. So we make sure that they are fulfilled, and we engage with them as best as their abilities. I tell people when they come to the health center, my department is not nursing and we're not dietary, but we're just about everything else. So if you need something, we're there to help you and make your days a little bit better.
Well, and talk about there to help you. So it wasn't last year, was it 2 years ago when you danced?
3
years ago. All right. So this is funny. So apparently Harrigate is made of stock dancers because we had Charles, and so I remember you came in last minute and you guys were a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. You had so much energy, which I think is fantastic. You must have a lot of that doing all this lifestyle stuff over here.
Yeah. If you just put on your game face and smile, just like the Dancing with the Stars, it's similar. You can't have a bad day when you're trying to help other people.
So how did you get into this? What did you do before you came to Harrigate?
I have a degree in music therapy.
Okay.
So I studied music therapy in college, and I'm a former board-certified music therapist. So for many years, I worked with children. I worked with kids with autism. I worked with kids with special needs. I worked with typical kids. When my own kids were little, I taught a lot of part-time classes. My own grandmother was in a facility, and she had Alzheimer's, dementia, and kind of watching her and visiting her, I switched careers a little bit. So I went from working with very young to much older, most of the cases, much older people, but all with different needs as well.
Just because you get older, it doesn't mean that you don't want to learn more. It doesn't mean you want to, so many times, especially like what I find, I love technology. Well, so do a lot of our seniors. Just because you're older doesn't mean that you can't learn it. It doesn't mean that you don't want to learn it. You know what I mean? It's just a different way of doing things. So there's a lot of, just adjusting to that individual. And I'm sure too, when you're working whenever there's medical anything, it's scarier, right? So you've got a lot of people that they're going to be just off to begin with. They don't want to be in that situation. And then you're coming to cheer them up. I'm going to tell you, I give you a lot of credit. Because I know that there's a lot of people that see you coming and are like, not today.
Oh, I have a woman who says that to me almost every day.
No names.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. Once in a while, she and I have a good conversation, and I take that as a win. But moving from musical background to what I do now, I enjoy it because I love to cook. I like crafts. Like, I get to do more than just music, and my staff are terrific that way too. They bring their game, they bring their passions and their hobbies. So it's nice when you work on everybody's strengths together.
Oh, that's great. And you know what? So you play games with everybody. It's time for me to play a game with you. That's right, baby.
It's game time.
That's right, baby. It's game time, everybody. A little bit of Price is Right. I want to have a little bit of fun. Now, we all know that the prices of things have just gotten kind of insane.
Yeah, we don't want
But we're going to have a little bit of fun, and I'm going to ask you, basically I'm going to give you, we're going to start with a gallon of milk, all right? Now, today a gallon of milk is going for roughly about $4.20, all right? And that was as of, actually, it could be more. This was as of 2024. Now, I'm going to ask you what you think. I'm going to give you three choices, and I want you to tell me how much you think a gallon of milk costs in 75. Now, here are your choices. A, 46 cents. B, $1.57. C, $2.49. Or D, $3.10. Do you think it was A, 46, B, $1.57, C, $2.49, or D, $3.10? What do you think?
I think A.
You think it was A, 46 cents in 1975? Let's see, does our studio audience agree? No? Oh, no. Wow.
No?
Maria agrees. Well, I'm going to tell you. All right, so I want to see how you are incorrect. However, I want to see the rest of you guys. Let me just see who thinks it was B, $1.57. All right. Who thinks it was C, $2.49? Ooh, and who thinks it was D, $3.10? Well, I am going to tell you that the correct folks are the ones that chose B. $1.57 was how much a gallon of milk cost in 1975. So you see, now you got that one's a tough one because there were a lot of numbers in there, and no one would ever think that it would have gone up that much. So now I'm going to ask you a much harder one. So yes, let's actually I'm going to go into a little bit of a different. Let's just do a trivia question, a little bit different. I would like you to tell me, this is a good one. What household item was considered a luxury item in 1970? Here are your choices. We have a coffee maker, a toaster, a microwave, or a can opener. What do you think was a luxury item in 1970? The microwave, the toaster, the coffee maker, or the can opener?
A microwave.
Ooh, who agrees with that out there? Oh, yeah, this one, I guess, is a little bit easier. And do you know that over 90% of all American homes now have microwaves? But do you know the first microwave in the 70s cost between $500 and $1,200? That is ridiculous. When you figure a typical car was like $3,500, I think back then in the 70s, it was like 35. I might be wrong. I think it was about 35 for like a luxury automobile now. So you would get a microwave so you could fry your brain for just the nice price of $500 to $1,200. All right, I got one more for you. You did good. Now the tiebreaker. I got to find a really, 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 really fun one for you. Oh, I like this one. All right, you ready? All right. Which of these candies debuted in 1974? Was it the Twizzlers, the Hershey Kisses, the M&Ms, or the Skittles? M&Ms, Twizzlers, Kisses, or Skittles? 1974. What do you think?
I'm going to guess the Kisses.
The Kisses. All right, now let's see out there, guys. I want to see who thinks it was the Hershey Kisses. You got no friends, Gianna. Nobody out there. Oh, you got one friend. One friend. All right, how about the Twizzlers out there? Twizzlers. All right. M&Ms. Okay, and what about the Skittles? Well, those of you with your hands up, the Skittles is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, Americans eat over 200 million Skittles a year, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, they were the first candy that marketed the flavor experience with Taste the Rainbow in 1974 and in the UK in 1979. So listen, you got 2 out of 3. You want one more? One more before we go to break? One more redemption one. Here we go.
Yeah.
I like this one. Oh, excellent. Here we go. Let's get back to the Price is Right. I want you to tell me the cost of a movie theater ticket in the 1980s. The 80s, you've got either $1.25, $2.75, $5, or $7.50. And just remember, as of the beginning of this year, the average movie ticket is a little over $15. So now I want you to know, once again, $1.25, $2.75, $5, or $7.50, and this is in the 1980s. What do you think?
I'm going to guess $2.75.
$2.75. Let's see who agrees with that out there. All right, who thinks it was cheaper at $1.25? Who thinks it was $5 out there? And what about that $7.50? Anybody? Well, I am happy to say that, Gianna, you are going to be leaving here a winner with the $2.75. That's right. And, you know, back then you could get a popcorn, a soda, a ticket for the entire family for about $14, to be honest with you. So, you know, things have changed a lot since the 80s. And I want to thank you for coming here. I want you to thank you for telling us a little bit about, I mean, I've heard about lifestyles, but I really never thought about it in, like, when you talk about in the skilled facility as well, because that's a whole different ball game. And I think you do an awesome job. And I thank you too, because I do remember you dancing. And I remember you really do light up the place wherever you go. Lots of energy, an amazing person. Thank you so much. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to Maria LaFace. We'll see you again. Gianna, thanks again. So long, everybody. We're going to be back in just a couple minutes. Let's hear it for our guest, everybody. Thank you very, very much.
Time for the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, you guys. Well, welcome back to the Senior Scoop. Today, we are honored to have Maria LaFace with us. Maria has been a steadfast advocate for our senior community, leading the Ocean County Office of Senior Services since 2018. Is that right? 2018. Wow. It is. It's always great to hang out with you and.
Is it
except for at that RSVP thing, which we're going to talk about how great that was. What a great dinner. But, you know, Maria, your journey into senior services is quite something, how you got there. And I was wondering if you could maybe share with all of our listeners and viewers what kind of got you into this field. And then we got to talk about this field in general.
All right. So can you hear me? What got me into this field? So I started out, my trade was an attorney, and I was practicing elder law, and I used to be a provider for the Office of Senior Services. So what does that mean? That means I provided free legal services to seniors under this act. Fast forward to 2018, I had a very unique opportunity to become the director of this department, and since then I have learned that seniors have many more needs than just legal needs. And so that's how I got here.
Wow. And so, and it's kind of funny. So when you talk about a provider, so those of you now, I'm with Caregiver Volunteers, and I learned a lot about how our nonprofits work here and how the whole process goes.
You
when
were
it comes
pretty
to
clueless when you started.
I'm still clueless. What are you kidding? I'm still learning day by day.
You learned so fast.
But what was amazing was that, because we work with multiple counties, there's multiple processes. And the thing that was amazing when I met with you was that you really did come with a a different view of it. You didn't look at it as, we're a government branch and we do this. It was, no, our goal is to help the seniors. So how do we do that? How do we get that accomplished? And that was really inspiring to me, because I was like, I don't know. I got involved with Caregivers because when I danced with them, I knew that they were a good organization, but I didn't know how they got any backing, funding, or even then what happened from there. And that's the part that I think is why it's so important for you to share with these folks, because it's one thing to give somebody, and we talk about it a lot, it's one thing to give somebody something. It's another thing to teach them, right?
Exactly.
We want to teach people how to fish. And in this environment, when it comes to nonprofits, when somebody has a good idea, they come to you, you work it out, you make sure it's going to be something that can be there and sustainable. So the Office of Aging and the Older Americans Act, Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So the Older Americans Act was established, it passed in 1965. It was part of President Johnson's Great Society Initiative. The whole purpose of the Older Americans Act was that Congress had identified that seniors, no matter what their Social Security payments would be or what their retirement looked like, that as they age, they would need community support programs. That if you're going to stay, most seniors wants to remain in their homes. And if you're going to age in place, this act is to provide those services or to fund those services that allow you to do that. And so who are we? The Office of Senior Services is one of the what we call area agencies on aging. And what does that mean? There is an Office of Senior Services in every county. In fact, I was speaking to a gentleman here earlier. Monmouth County has one. And it's throughout the country, actually. But what do? We draw down federal dollars under the Older Americans Act, and then we hold a public hearing, which, by the way, is tomorrow. The purpose of the public hearing is for me to hear from you. If I'm given millions of dollars to design an aging network that's supposed to meet the needs of seniors, I don't want to just pull that out of my head. I want to hear from the seniors themselves. What are those priorities? So tomorrow I'm going to hear about what those priorities are. Once we identify those priorities, then we go and we put out what's called an RFP. We're looking for nonprofits, other government departments, faith-based organizations to apply for our funding so that they can then run programs that meet those needs that we've identified. I can tell you, and I know you got a question, but I can tell you that in Ocean County, the priority needs for the past, since COVID, have been transportation. We are a county of 628 square miles. Many seniors no longer have their licenses. To get around this county can be very difficult if you've grown up in other parts of the state. There's better public transportation. So transportation always is a priority. We identified home delivered meals and food insecurity as another priority. Housing instability is becoming a big problem for older adults trying to stay at home due to property taxes or rent. And so housing instability. And then finally, one of the other big ones is home health aides. At some point, if people are going to age and they're going to, like, I think I heard that there's somebody who's 108 that resides here. In order to do that, at some point, even if I give you a medical alert button, a home delivered meal, transportation to a doctor, there may come a time for most that you need somebody in that home to help you on a daily basis or at least a couple of times a week. And so those are the main priorities. The last one was a little disturbing. It was financial security. So what is that financial assistance? What does that tell me? It's telling me that most of our seniors who are struggling to live off of a Social Security check, which, by the way, the average Social Security check is about $2,000 a month for an individual, slightly less, and a little over $3,000 for a couple. Now imagine trying to live solely off of a Social Security, and so they're struggling to keep up with this extraordinary cost of living.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We are getting ready. We have a 2025. Our network is in place, but we are getting ready to now contract for 2026. I've been fortunate enough to have Caregivers as one of the nonprofits that we fund and partner with to meet some of these needs.
All of these services that you guys oversee is something that I just learned about. I had no idea about this until I was on the other side of it. I had no idea that there was an actual government branch, and it makes sense, that was controlling where this money went to make sure that the providers are doing the services that they say they are checked quarterly to make sure that they're giving the amount of services they said they would for the price that they said they would, and that they're also making sure that these services that they went into with you are providing the service, and that the receivers are happy with those services.
Quality of the services are important.
And if you don't have the overseeing on that, and that's what I want to really get into, I'm really scared. Yeah. The other part of it, and this is the one, Maria, that I've got to check in, because I've heard this, and I just got to make sure. Adult Protective Services also falls under you guys. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief overview of what we are looking at in the proposed budget. And again, what you said, politics is irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
I focus on what is going to impact the population I am charged with serving, and that is anybody over the age of 60. And so if I see an issue or a proposed law or a proposed budget that is going to negatively impact you, I'm going to address it and I'm going to advocate against it. And so what we're looking at here in the proposed budget, I told you the Older Americans Act, it was put into law in 1965. The sole purpose, was to provide funding for older adults over the age of 60 for services to maintain their independence in their home. That's the goal of every single program that we have. It was being administered by something called the Administration for Community Living. Irrelevant, but the current budget proposed dismantled the Administration for Community Living. What does that mean? We're not really sure, because that's the agency that oversees all of the Older Americans Act dollars. What it looks like is they're going to take those dollars, and there's different pockets. Some of the dollars are for food, some of the dollars are for transportation and what we call B programs, home health aides and things like that. Interestingly, under the proposed budget, they're taking all of our food money, our home delivered meal funding, our congregate dining funding, and they're putting it under Medicaid. And yes, and then they are putting the other programs under the Administration for Children and Families. Now, why? What that means to me is it's going to get diluted. It's going to end up being spread amongst other populations and not dedicated solely to seniors. And I can tell you right now, we are serving, when I first started at this department, I was serving 1,100 home-delivered meals to homebound seniors daily. Fast forward to today, we are serving anywhere between 1,600 and 1,800 home-delivered meals to homebound isolated seniors who have no family members or friends to help them. We are already walking ourselves into a wait list. So if this money, the food money, is given to one agency and the other dollars are given to another, neither one of those agencies are solely dedicated to seniors. My concern is it's going to be diluted and it's going to be spread out amongst populations that the law wasn't intended for it to be. So we have a massive advocacy campaign going on. I'm trying to keep it simple. It's keep the act intact. The other piece of that, adult protective services, does everybody know what that is? For instance, Mrs. Jones, you go to a bank, right? And you go to your teller regularly. Well, that teller will say, ooh, who's this young man? Why is Miss Jones taking out $8,000? That's not what Mrs. Jones usually does. They will make a report. We call them gatekeepers. They will make a report to Adult Protective Services. So it's the self-neglect when they can't take care of themselves. I will also tell you we have some adult children who are living with their parents. And I don't know, we've had an opioid epidemic over many years now that we're hopefully coming out of. But there's financial exploitation by family members as well. And so if Adult Protective Services is zeroed out, there's nobody to call to protect in these circumstances, and that scares me. The one other program, well, there's a couple others, but the other program that was zeroed out or will be zeroed out if the proposed budget passes is something called the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. That is similar to Adult Protective Services. The Long-Term Care Ombudsman's Program is those people who go out and investigate abuse and neglect and exploitation in nursing homes. We know it's going on. We know they're understaffed and they're struggling to take care of the residents. And the long-term care ombudsman is the office you call and they send investigators out. That is zeroed out. So the two forms of protection out there, both institutional and in the community, are no longer there. That very, very concerning to us. And so we're hoping to be able to, I went to DC in March. I've tried to educate our lawmakers about what this proposed budget would do and what it means to the seniors that we serve. This is the largest growing population. There are 10,000 people turning 65 every single day. Why would we be taking money away from the fastest and largest growing population and redirecting it to populate? The birth rate is down. Not that families and children aren't important, but we can track where the need is right now.
Yeah.
And so to redirect that money to other populations is really, in my opinion, not a good decision. We're asking for help from our older adults to advocate, to call their congressman, to write their letters. I think we may have sample letters in the back. Again, just keep the act intact. Leave it the way it is. It was meant for seniors. Leave it for seniors because the needs are only growing now. I thank you for having me here. I feel very strongly about this because things are moving so fast that when I was in D.C., I was sitting there, and this is how fast it happened. You're sitting there in your conference. It's called the Aging Policy Briefing. We're supposed to hear from the ACL. They're supposed to be coming to educate us. And we're getting text messages that it was dismantled at that moment. And people were walking out the building and texting us saying, it was very nice working with you. Keep up the good fight.
You know, you're doing everything that you can. And I think that with 200,000 seniors in Ocean County alone,
thank you.
This is, you know, maybe we're a very small spot in the country, but not to us.
No.
And you know, that's why this is where we got to have all those names and those signatures. And
I remind everybody that when I go out to adult communities, you are the largest voting bloc. Make sure you are heard because they know it in Ocean County and they know it even at the state and federal level. You are the largest voting bloc. And so just let them know what you want because if they want to stay in office, they're going to have to give it to you.
hey, everybody out there, this is going to be a scoop update. That's right. Right now, you were just hearing about how we were in such much jeopardy with the Older Americans Act. And at the time of this taping, which was literally less than 2 weeks ago, things were looking pretty grim. However, thanks to everybody's advocacy, thanks to people like Maria here and so many who really went above and beyond, going to Washington, talking to our senators. We even had a group speaking to Congressman Conaway just this past Tuesday. Thank him very much for his time. But right here around Memorial Day, I'm very proud to say that the Older American Act is looking to be intact moving forward in 2026, and no funding has been removed from the programs within it. So your Meals on Wheels, your adult protective services, your embutments, we are going to be there in 26. And those of you who signed those papers, advocacy does work. And you need to speak up and be listened to, because I'll tell you, I was losing faith, but not anymore. So a little update there. Let's get back to the show and have some fun. No, we're definitely going to play a little game here. Now, this is my game for you, Maria. Sharon, you got to help with this one. This is going to be fun. All right, now here we go. Now, you might not know about last week we introduced a game called Grand Speak, where we actually helped out our seniors with the slang of today. Well, we're going to go back a little bit. I'm going to play a little variation of that, okay? This is going to be basically, I'm going to ask you. The first one is glow up. Now, this is a slang term for today. I'm going to use it in a sentence. Yes, for today. Then I'm going to give you three choices, all right, of what it might mean. So right now, this glow up, all right, it is a, here. Glow up. Yeah, people are actually saying this, believe it or not.
Research
listen, you try to save the budget. I try to find stupid slang terms. All right, we all got our part in this life here. So, fun fact. Well, all right, let's see here. So, it is. Wait, what is that? Okay, so glow up is a major transformation, usually looking better. And so back then, in the 1970s, these are the three terms it might have meant: gussied up, makeover moment, or your swan song. Glowed up. What do you think it might mean? A major transformation, usually looking better. Is it gussied up, makeover moment, or your swan song?
I'm going to say gussy up.
Gussied up. What do you guys think out there? Do you think it was gussied up, hands up? Do you think it was makeover moment, or do you think it was the swan song? Well, you're all wrong. It was the swan song, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Does that have to
While
do with
swan
any of it?
song traditionally meant a final performance, older generations used to describe someone's dramatic transformation from awkward to elegant. Now, you know what? I guess
ugly
since
duckling to swan? Is that what I don't understand.
Okay, listen. Do you really think that ChatGPT could be wrong about everything? I mean,
I don't get it, guys. All right.
All right. Wait, hold on. I got something for my presentation. You ready?
I don't like that.
All right, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Let me try a different one. I don't even think it's that. I'm just trying. All right, here we go. Now this one I think you're gonna know. FOMO. Do you know what FOMO means? It is the fear of missing out. So now back in the day, was it left in the lurch, out of the loop, or missed the memo? Was it left in the lurch, out of the loop, or missed the memo? And we're looking at 1980s. It was left in the lurch, out of the loop, or missed the memo. FOMO. What do you think?
Out of the loop?
Out of the loop? What do you guys think? Do you think it was left in the lurch, hands up?
Nobody wants to jump.
Out of the loop, or missed the memo? Well, guys, Maria, you are correct. It was out of the loop. That's right.
Thank you.
Out of the loop.
I needed your support.
That's right. FOMO might be new, but the anxious feeling when someone else was at a drive-in and you weren't, well, that's eternal. And that was, you were out of the loop. All right, I got one more. And this one I know is going to be, you're going to know this one because it happens on a lot of interviews many times. Ghosted. Have you been ghosted for interviews lately? Well, listen to you out there. Yes. This is when they suddenly stop returning or just don't show up. So you're in the middle of a, hey, you're going to be there tomorrow? Absolutely. 9 o'clock interview? I'll be there. I'll be all dressed up. Great. 9 o'clock comes? Nothing. It's a new way that the kids are doing interviews. It's awesome.
Ghost you like that?
It's ghosted. Oh yeah, this happens. It's great. So now here are your three terms.
Better not do that.
No. So it could be gave the slip, sent packing, or stood up.
Stood
up. What do you guys think? Gave the slip, hands up, sent packing, or stood up? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are all good and you have learned FOMO because yes, stood up is the correct answer. Back then, if your date didn't show, you were stood up. Today, they just vanish and they ghost you. You believe this? Well, Maria, thank you so much for playing with us and having a good time. We had a little lightness on the end. And look, in all seriousness, please go to the website, click on that form, download it, sign it, and mail it in. Those of you that are here, please sign that one in the back. We got to make a change, but more so, we just got to get informed. And you did that today. And thank you, Maria. We'll be right back with our partner with prizes. We'll see you. Thank you so much.
It's time for the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria.
All right, everybody, we are back and we are excited because it's now time for our partners with prizes, everybody. That's right. And we have a phenomenal guest, and I think this is going to work really well, especially after our last guest, Maria. We got Richard Greco here from Assisting Hands Home Care. And you know what? Rich, it was kind of funny because we were just talking a little bit about the needs of home care and how it is really the number one thing that people are talking about, the major need that is out there for our seniors. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what, Assisting Hands, and it's kind of fun too, because I know that you guys, how many branches do you guys have?
So we're part of a franchise throughout the nation, but our particular franchise is particularly servicing Monmouth and Ocean County.
But tell people out there, so home care, what exactly does that mean? What do you guys do?
So it's, we want to make sure that people live safely at home. Mm-hmm. The idea is for them to age in place. But if you need a little assistance with your daily routine, getting out of bed, eating, going to the bathroom, could be anything, grooming.
Yeah.
Simple stuff. It could be companionship, just to keep somebody, give somebody some company. Wow. Cooking a meal.
And how long have you been doing this?
So I've been in healthcare for almost 30 years.
Oh, wow. You're pro.
Yeah.
You got the real deal.
Yeah, I've done a couple of different things throughout healthcare.
And where's your office out of?
So we're out of Seagirt, New Jersey. Yep, right out of Seagirt. But like I said, our particular office does service both Monmouth and Ocean County. And
before we got going, you mentioned a really amazing program that goes in line with some of the services that are out there. And for the veterans, you guys have one heck of a veteran program, but also more so is that information, that little tidbit of how to do it right. So please tell these guys about, what the veterans program is, and then let's tell them how to make sure that they get the right company if it's for them. First of all, Rich, the home care in general there does come a cost to it. I mean, these are trained individuals. They go through a training program. They have to be certified here in New Jersey. Right. They are employees. There's workers' comp. There's a lot of fees that go involved with it. So it can be a very expensive thing. I'm going through it right now, with my father-in-law, and we're paying for it. And it is pricey, but it is the difference between him being in a nursing home or staying at home. It really is. Right. With that being said, for our veterans out there, please tell them what you told me about what they can get.
So there is a program veterans can take advantage of for care at home if you are living at home and you're a veteran and you need a little assistance just with your daily routine. The VA will cover the cost for the home health aid. They're CHHAs, Certified Home Health Aides, to come to your home, give you the assistance that you need to live at home safely, and the VA will cover the cost.
That's insane. That's crazy.
The average veteran, and again, this is not age specific.
Oh, wow.
You could be somebody who served in the Persian Gulf, which wasn't that long ago. Or you could be somebody from the Korean War era, the Vietnam War era. But again, we want to make sure that these people are living at home. If they do need that help at home, the VA may cover anywhere from 7 to 14 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
For an aide to come to the home. And usually, I would say an average is about 10 to 11 hours a week on an average. But it could be 3 days a week, a couple hours a day, maybe 3 to 4 hours a day.
And if you're a veteran and you either think you need care or you do need care, do you have to be, who can say if you are qualified for it or not?
So what happens is the veteran, first of all, they need to be enrolled in the VA. Okay. That's important. A lot of veterans, even though they serve, they're not necessarily enrolled in the VA.
And what do you just go to the buildings down here? Or
there's two buildings. One is in Monmouth County. One's in Ocean County.
You got that new big one, yeah.
Yep. The one in Ocean County is down off Hooper Ave, down by Route 37, and the Monmouth County one is on Gilbert Street in Tinton Falls.
Okay.
So if you live in that county, that's the office you would go to, and you go there and you say, I'm a veteran. And you would fill out a simple application. It's called a 1010 Easy form.
Okay.
And that's the form that you fill out to be able to get the care that you need at home. Once you fill it out, you submit it, it's processed, and then now you're enrolled. And it does take maybe a week or two to get it processed.
And then the important part that you were telling me before is, all right, now you're enrolled, now you're ready to go.
Right.
They can't call you, but if they call the VA, then they say, I want to work with assisting hands.
Right. So what they would do is the veteran contacts their VA office.
Okay.
They say, I need a little help at home. They're assessed by the VA. Uh-huh. They would tell the VA what particular provider they want to work with, because the VA does have different providers. Gotcha. So if a veteran is not specific to a provider, then the VA will just send it out to all their providers. Gotcha. So let's say a veteran calls, I need a little help at home. Next thing you know, but they're not specific to a provider. Next thing you know, they're getting 35 phone calls because each provider is calling them.
Oh, boy.
Because the VA sent that referral out to all their providers. So a simple way to tackle that is the veteran themselves or the family member can say, we want to work with assisting hands. They would tell the VA that, their social worker that. Then that social worker at the VA would contact us specifically.
Oh, wow.
Now they're dealing with one phone call, one provider.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense. And I mean, the nice thing too is it's like you should probably make T-shirts made, pretty soon. We want
veterans
assisting
call
hands.
VA and ask for assisting hands, right?
So, but that is nice. I mean, that's a big difference. But every time, I can't stand it. Every time I give my number to anybody, I mean, the phone doesn't stop anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. I mean, there's a lot of providers, and so if it goes out to the list, you're gonna have those issues. How long has Assisting Hands been in business?
We've been around about 11, 12 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that there's the Monmouth. You've got in the Secret branch. You're right by physical therapy, Atlantic Physical Therapy.
Yeah, so
right?
everybody knows where Scarborough Fair is.
Oh, yeah.
That restaurant. We're right behind it.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, no, that's it. And I mean, listen, I was in the home care game. It is tough, and it's very tough in New Jersey, especially. So I mean, for you guys to be able to do that, especially for the veterans, that's amazing. If people want to learn more, or if they need, if they're looking for care or they're looking to learn more, do you have people that can answer questions?
Sure.
And that number is this number here?
They would contact our office directly.
The main number. So that's
the main number.
732-272-0222.
That's correct. The best thing to do is once you call our office, at least we can guide you in the right direction.
Right.
Because veterans, first of all, a lot of veterans don't even know they need to be enrolled in the VA. So we start with that. Are you enrolled? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, we tell them how to do it. Then we find out what their needs are. And when we talk to them, we want to let them know they need to be proactive with going to the VA, contacting the VA. We can't do it for them.
Okay.
But we can guide them what to do and what to say.
That makes sense.
And it makes it so much easier on them because they don't know where to go, what to say, who to talk to. And a lot of veterans aren't even aware of the benefits they're entitled to.
Oh, I learned that. Yeah, and it is true because there's a lot of services out there, and sometimes you can get in that web too, where there's a third party you're working with, where the VA could have done it directly, and so on and so forth. So it is. I mean, and now with that, I mean, in Ocean County, we got that big building that just opened up, which is really nice, and it is important to know what services are out there. I think that's almost maybe what the theme of this show is understanding what the services out there are and how we can, protect them.
And the nice thing is that the VA will cover the cost for those home health aides. Mm-hmm. A veteran who maybe is in need of maybe 10 to 15 hours a week, if they have to pay for that privately, I mean, you could be talking about quite a chunk of change.
Wow.
And a lot of seniors are already on a budget. So if the veteran goes to the VA and gets approved for these hours, the VA will cover the cost for that home health aide. Wow. Which is huge. It could be thousands of dollars hours. You don't have to live home like in a private residence.
Right.
You could live. I mean, this is your home. Mm-hmm. You could live in a memory care unit. You could live in an assisted living. Mm-hmm. Just as long as you're not in a skilled nursing home.
Gotcha.
Any other setting, we can help them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I think too, people can get scared about home care, but sometimes an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. Listen, the 4 hours is nice too. You get stuff done, and you can move on with your day. And so, you ready to give some away here?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, guys, get out your tickets. Everybody, get out your tickets, as it is Partners with Prizes, and
Now it's time for Partners with Prizes.
Ah, that's right. Partners with Prizes. Today, what do you got for these fine folks?
Oh, look at this. We have
Holy moly.
we're talking about food insecurities before.
Uh-huh.
We have a $50
Whoa.
ShopRite gift card.
Oh, baby. Wow.
$50.
That's serious,
Pay
man.
a lot for a lot of groceries.
Well, yeah, and ShopRite. I was in ShopRite actually yesterday. They put a Shake Shack in that same parking lot.
They did,
which is good because it wasn't that crowded to begin with. So it's really nice that they did this. But
add more cars.
But I mean, listen, $50 gift card. This is awesome. Give a big round of applause to our partner with prizes here, Rich. And now, all right, you guys everybody's got your tickets out. You got your tickets. I got to find out who's winning this. Let's see. Where's my ticket? All right, you ready? Does everybody have a yellow ticket? Yes. All right, you're ready. You want.
All right, I'm not gonna look.
That's right. Let's see how many dead tickets we get. Dead tickets. Tickets. Here it is. Let's see. All right, now, are you ready? We need ticket number 362-167-69. Who's got 69? Anybody? Oh, look at this. Jean.
Right. We have a winner.
We have our winner here. All right, now I get to play a game with you, though. I got to play a game with you.
Right.
All right, I know we're going to get you out of here in 1 minute.
No rush.
You're fibbing. Now, hold on 1 second. Let's see. You know what? I think what I'll do here is we're going to play one game with my friend here. All right, let's see here.
Game time!
I got to get our music on in the background. And I think that it's time for us to bust up Maria's vacation. I think so. Let's see here.
I think that sounds good.
This sounds like
we miss you today, Maria.
Did she hang up on me? I'm going to do it again. She can't get out of here.
She's at a tiki bar.
Yeah, right?
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's going on, Maria? How are you?
Good.
So we got everybody here, and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I was FaceTiming. Don't worry about that. So now we got Rich here from Assisting Hands, and we were going to play a game before we ended this day. You want to play a game with us?
Sure, of course.
So Maria, can you tell us about the weather where you are right now, please?
Oh my God, it is absolutely beautiful. It is 90 degrees, blue skies, and a little breeze.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, can everybody please boo Maria now? Boo. No, you know what, though? It's gorgeous here, too, today. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, I heard. I know. My kids were telling me everything is nice in New Jersey, but we've been 90 since last Wednesday, so Thursday.
So Maria, what I'm going to do is this. I want you to choose. You can choose the decade for Rich, all right? So you can choose the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, and then I'm going to give him a couple things and see if he can pick the price of what these things were in that decade. Now, he can try to convince you of what decade he would like.
Well, I've lived in all those decades, so it doesn't matter to me. Yes,
Me too.
I'm that old.
So what do you think? I'm going to let you team up with him to see if you can get 2 out of the 3 correct. So which decade would you like?
Oh, I'm going with the 70s.
All right. Oh, 70s is hot today. All right, guys. So here we go. I want you to tell me I'll give you a choice. All right. So how about a pound of ground beef? Was it $1.39, $1.99, 45 cents, 89 cents, or 69 cents? Yeah, what do you
I'm
think?
going to go $1.39.
All right, you say $1.39. What do you think, Rich?
I'm going to agree with Maria.
$1.39. Now, out there, folks, I just want to see who thinks $1.39 sounds right. Hands up. All right, who likes that 89 cents? Hands up. What about $1.99? I'm giving you those 3. Well, the right answer today is... Oh, wait, no, I totally screwed that up. The right answer for you guys is... Oh, that's right. The correct price in the 70s was 89 cents a pound. 89 cents a pound was correct. I did hear that.
89 cents.
But that's not bad, Maria. All right, so you're 0 for 1. Yeah. 0 for 1.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to move on. How about a gallon of gas? Let's do a gallon of gas in the 70s. Was it 31 cents, 62 cents, $1.14, $1.19, or $1.50? 31, 62, $1.19, $1.14, or $1.50? What do you think, Maria?
I'm gonna say.
You want it one more time?
No, I think I want to say 62 cents, but.
All right. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
What do you think, Rich?
I'm going to go with Maria.
All right. Now, how about out there, guys? Do we think 62 cents, hands up? Do we think $1.14, hands up? $1.19, hands up? And $1.50? Well, Maria. You are correct, Maria. It was 62 cents. 62 cents was what a buck. Now, today we average about $3.75. So that is not bad. All right, you did good. One more, and I'm going to let you get back to your vacation. Rich can get back to work, and we're going to go from there. How about, this one. Let's see. Let's go with this. A bar of soap. Ivory soap to be exact. Today is $2.50 for a bar. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, I want to know for the 70s, how much was it? Here are your choices. We have 35 cents. We have 10 cents. We have 15 cents. We have 60 cents, or we have 5 cents. What?
35 cents.
All right. What do you think?
All right, Maria, I'm going to go either with you. We're going to go up or down. I'm going to go with the same thing Maria said.
Oh, 35 cents. So out there, who thinks 35 cents? The other choice was 15 cents. Who thinks? 10 cents. Who thinks? All right. 50 cents. Who thinks? Guess how much? Maria, what did you say? 35? Did you say 35?
Yeah.
Did you say 35?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry. 15 cents.
Wow.
15 cents for a bar of soap.
Maria, you didn't go down alone. I went with you.
All right. That's
Yeah,
it.
see that?
Because of that, I'm giving you one more, damn it. That's right. We're doing one more.
Okay, one more.
Here we go. A color TV. A color TV. We're
Okay,
looking at
Ern just came in, so hold on.
Oh, good.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
get Ern. 19 to 21 inch set is what we're looking at. Today, this television, well, they don't make them like that anymore. No, I gotta tell you. I think, but all right, so I'm looking at, it was either $200, $300, $385, $495, or $600. So 220, 300, 385, 495, or 550. It wasn't 550. I made that up.
And how many inches was that?
It's 19 to 21.
A 19 to 21 inch TV in
the
1970.
70s. It was
Cost.
220, 300, 385, 495, or 5 and change.
I'm going to go with 385.
What do you think, Rich?
Only because.
I'm going to go.
Go ahead, let Rich say.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably 5 and change.
5 and change. You say 385. Let's see what the crowd thinks. What do you think, Sharon? What do you think?
4 something?
4 something, 495. So we had 495. You're saying 5 over that?
It was color TV.
Do you guys think who agrees with Rich? It's over $500. Let's see, over 500. Who agrees with Sharon? 495ish around there. Who agrees with Maria? 385. And who thinks it was around $300? Anybody? Well, Maria. Well, I'm going to say let's put it this way. Maria, you get the. That's right. $385. Rich, I'm sorry, but you get the. That's right. I'm sorry. But you know what? Hey, listen, this was a lot of fun. Maria, enjoy your vacation. We miss you over here. We really do. And
Yep.
Sharon's going to kill you.
Listen. Yes, thank you so much, Sharon.
You're welcome. Anytime. Well,
Yeah, you missed a good show. I'll tell you, we had a lot of fun, but we will see you next time. And we got to say goodbye to Rich. Rich, thank you so much, guys. How about a big round of applause for Rich from Assisting Hands Home Care? And listen, it's an excellent company. If you have any questions, I know that the number's going to be up here. If you got some cards in the back, or
cards,
definitely.
brochures.
Home care is a scary thing, so you do want to go with a company that you can talk to and that you can trust. And this is a good man, been in the business for 30 years in this industry. So thank you so much, and thanks for bringing a nice gift. Listen, these guys, they love this. They're going to be coming here more for these gift cards. I love it. So thank you so much, everybody. This has been the Senior Scoop. We're going to see you next time, where we're going to be talking about Alzheimer's.
We have.
That's right.
Yes, we have Dr. Patel, who's going to be coming to speak. We have Dina Coffey, who is the chair for the Alzheimer's Association.
Go vacation. Do have some fun, Maria. Thank you for joining us and jumping in on the phone call. The rest of you guys, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. We'll see you all again. This has been the Senior Scoop. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to the Senior Scoop with Bob and Maria. Thanks for joining us, and we will be right back.